old Tottenham studio.
So we are back, and as promised, we are joined by the amazing IT consultant, business technologist, and groundbreaking, should I say, engineering and what?
Leadership, you have all of that.
Yes, you have all of those titles to your name. We are joined by Mr. Dean Oduniyi. Oduniyi, okay. Thank you for, we want to make sure that we pronounce it correctly. Welcome to Ben Breakfast Show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Good, thank you.
Okay, so tell us, IT, what, because when I was going through what, everything you've done, I said, this gentleman has a strong passion.
Yes, I'm sure we all recognize and we all agree that technology has enhanced and transformed the way we live, particularly in the last 25 years. Traditionally, technology was something people say in the back office, a huge monster that people used to process payroll, large government organizations to storing data. The gentleman called Bill Gates actually, he changed the world and he championed what is called the PC today, which is a personal computer. But guess what? The personal computer he envisioned 25 years ago that sat on top of your desk actually lives in this wristwatch now. So it's been amazing. It's been very transforming, but particularly it's enhanced the way we do things. If you look at your daily lifestyle, you wake up in the morning, some people from your phone, from your wristwatch, you can check the weather, you can check the train times, you can check your blood pressure, you can check your heartbeat, you can check whether any email is coming for you, anything particularly important has happened through the night, and you also have the ability to respond to it. So in a sense, we have become more productive, we have become more informative, we have become much more responsive. I would say we have become, our lifestyle has been enhanced and enriched by the sheer number of information and tools at our disposal today. If you look at the world, the way some particular technology platforms like social media has transformed every facet of society is amazing. It's amazing. Like every good thing, there's other side of it. But we need to dwell on the positive things, because I believe the positive things outweigh a lot of the negative things. And we need to continuously look at how we can address the other side of the coin. I'm not sure whether you've heard of this new jingle called the Internet of Things. So what are we talking about? If you actually think about it, almost every mechanical device you have nowadays has something called a microprocessor embedded in it. So what we're seeing is that those little chips, as tiny as they are going to be given some logic. So they're going to have software that enables them to understand, perhaps your sugar level in your blood is going low, or perhaps your fridge at home is running low on sugar or milk. The possibilities are endless. It's all about our human thought, mind, vision, that how can we use all of these things. And at the same time, we need to be cautioned by the fact that there's always the other side of the coin.
Exactly.
And there is the moral, the ethic, there is the community fabric side of it that it impacts. And I think we just have to continuously work on how do we address the issues. But overall, it's been a positive development.
Well, okay, don't you think that it has made us, because you talked about the social media, don't you think it has made us more of a big brother world?
Without any doubt, we live in a world today where we have no privacy.
I would want to believe that we would want a bit of that back.
Yes, and it's damaged the trust between governments and citizens in many ways. It's a very interesting dimension because, excuse me, surveillance was introduced to address crime.
Yes.
To give people safety, assurance that everything's all right. We're watching out for the bad guys to look up to them. However, government has a very bad habit of always finding other uses for these things. So the government has found a way to actually police everything we do. So overall, it is a big issue, and people are continuously challenging the government that all of this information you are collecting, what controls are in place to ensure people's privacy concerns are addressed. I mean, I'm passionate about privacy. I design, architect information systems, and one of the things that I think about is how do we ensure people have control over their information, that they don't give away their information inadvertently. But my dear, people also have to take responsibility.
True.
I have friends that I can map where they've been in the last 24 hours. Checking a Heathrow, checking a Starbucks, checking a... My God, do you actually think twice about what you're doing? Your house could get buggled, your car... I mean, you're giving away so much information. So there is the personal responsibility part of it that we need to own up to as well, that when we sign up to all of these things that makes our life easy, we also pause and reflect that how much information do we have to give away and what is the impact of giving away that information. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people give those things a lot of thought. You know, people just do things on, on response, and they think, oh, actually, what happened? We've seen cases where what transpired between private people becomes public knowledge in a spiteful manner. And people ask the question that what controls can be in place? So you find that most places you go to, there'll be a plaque on the wall saying you are being monitored by CCTV. Be careful, you're doing blah, 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 blah. But between private citizens in their home, behind closed doors, there's very little anybody can do. It's all about taking personal responsibility of what we do. And by and large, continues to challenge the government. Challenge the government to say, what controls are in place? I mean, if you remember this NSA incidents where the gentleman, it was stoned in, in fact, WikiLeaks, look at all of those. Yes, all of those amazing, unbelievable information that were happening between governments and governments. And the citizens, for all you know, were ignorant of this. We keep hearing about things happening, something happening, but unbeknownst to us, there's a lot, 95% of what's happening, we don't know. So you find that now somebody has been able to put that information out, put it in the public, people become more, okay, in a sense, we now understand our government.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. We have a caller on the line, David. Hello, David.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good morning.
Is David there?
It's only...
Hello. Yes. Hi.
Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. It's only when you are asking questions about the negative part of the IT and the exposure towards personal security or maybe self-claimed what have you to what IT can give or towards the 21st century of the global world that we are in today. Let me just zero it down to a gentleman's his own view towards that. You can imagine the issue of Ebola that we are talking in Africa today. If by so doing of Africans can make use of the computer of the 21st century towards this IT, a lot of information could have been gathered before now. If by saying that don't eat bush meat, don't eat monkeys, don't eat this, don't eat that, we could educate our people often and often coming on their screen of their various computers in their various houses, we will know this. Secondly, the man that was being pushed to Nigeria, that was causing mayhem in Nigeria today, they could have checkmated him right from where he was coming from. Now that they are putting system into various boundaries and everything, it is too late for Africa. And I want this gentleman to openly and genuinely say to the whole world, Africa today of 21st century, what is the limit of the IT that we are having? And we are talking about Jonathan. People will say, don't say about Jonathan. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Nothing. Let them say about what and the limit of broadband they are using in Nigeria.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I think we've gotten your point. Thank you very much, David.
David was very, very passionate about what he had to say, and he really is. So, what would you say to David if you were speaking to him face to face?
I think David's made a very good point. Information still remains an issue in Nigeria, particularly. I mean, I do a lot of business in Nigeria. I actually moved back to Nigeria, and I sort of shot back and forth now. And one of the things that shocked me is that in trying to develop things, people will not give you information. You can't even find it. Exactly. And what normally happens is that people now rely on hearsay, which more often than not turns to be wrong.
True.
So it is definitely on point that the government could have sensitized the public in a much more effective manner and in a light aggressive manner before all of these incidents are happening. And I think the onus is on all of us to actually carry out this vision. We have a platform in Nigeria called Niger Health, NigerHealth. If you go and check out the website, since last week, we've been carrying lots of information about Ebola, how to prevent it, what to watch out for, the symptoms, what to do if you suspect someone having it. But it does have a point, you know, you watch the traditional media, even the newspaper industry, how much focus until the deaths happen.
True.
I remember the other caller was mentioning when this thing was happening in Sierra Leone, did anything happen in Nigeria? Did we prepare for it? Did people start saying, watch out, be careful? None of those things have happened. However, going back to technology, one of the things we all have the power of doing, with a phone in your hand, you can access any information anywhere in the world. So, in a sense, we can take comfort from the fact that with technology, you can find out, oh, there's a symptom, what does it mean? Or something's happened, what does it mean? You can ask questions online, you can do a lot of things online. That is one of the things that I believe is the benefits of technology. It means that information that will have been 10 years, 15 years ago, not available, is available to everybody now.
But off the back of that, sorry to interrupt you, off the back of that, what about those, because I'm going to play devil's advocate here. What about those that are in remote villages that do not have access to technology, or that for whatever reason cannot afford to have a phone, or are in areas that there's no sort of there's no reception or network? What about those? How are those people?
We're talking about rural Nigeria.
Of course, yeah.
Because more often than not, we're talking about urban Nigeria. We're talking about rural Nigeria. So that is a very important point, and I think something that we need to continuously challenge the Nigerian government for. Lots and lots of money have gone into Nigeria on, I remember the One PC, One Nigeria initiative. I remember a PC on every desktop initiative. You have to ask the question, what happened to all these initiatives? You go to the rural areas, and if you have any broadband, it's very, very crappy. It doesn't work. More often than not, you don't even get any services. And I think it's incumbent on the government to actually develop a structure that allows people in the remote area even to have kiosk, ordinary kiosk. They can go to punch it, you know, menu-driven, interactive. I want to find out about this. I want to find out about this. Those things can be done, and they're not terribly expensive.
Okay, but you now, as a professional in this field, what would you do? What are the things that you would put in place if you were in government?
Okay, let me tell you what I've been doing, and I'll move on to what I would have done if I'm in government. One of the things we do in Nigeria today is that we have realized that information is missing. People don't have the information. Now, we've created a number of platforms. We have Niger Health for health issues. We have Niger Food for food issues. We have Niger...
Oh, sorry, Dean, let's interrupt you.
Yes, we have another caller.
I think this is a very interesting topic, so we have a lot of callers. Hello, Dayo.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the show.
How are you? I just need to come into the question being asked by the lady on your right hand side, or maybe left hand side, saying that if people in the rural areas do not have access to the information. I want you to know that whoever that is living in the rural area, we are not living in 10 generations to this time. This is the 21st century. They will have families and relations that are very closer to this IT thing or to the computer. But what we are saying is that the provision by the government, their responsibility for the people in these rural areas, they are not going to die there, but the government's responsibility is to take facilities and amenities down to them. If they can produce and do their right to give us food in the main city and in towns, we should be able to look downward to them to say that what can we do in order to provide information for you. Look at what is going on in Sierra Leone, in anywhere this Ebola virus is being, erupted. Not that maybe there are the people that live in the rural area, but a lot of people are catching this virus. Look at the man that died in Saudi Arabia. He doesn't live in Sierra Leone. Are you getting my point? But what we are talking about is that this is 21st century. Government should wake up. That is what we are saying. And use people like this gentleman you are interviewing. Call them to round table talk. What can you do?
That's what I've just asked him that. What that he, since he's vast in this area, what would he do?
Because they're not giving them rules. They're not giving them rules. All what they are doing is politics. Embezzlement.
Thank you so much for your views, sir. Thank you. Thank you very. I think we
everybody's now getting really passionate about this.
Nigerians are passionate.
Yes.
That tells you what we have, what we feel about our country, and how much we yearn for the good things that people in the West enjoy, that our people can enjoy as well. It's not a very valuable point. It's always a very complex thing when you talk about government. Billions of naira going to Nigeria every year, aid, grants, World Bank assistance projects, etc. I mean, a lot for them. Now, the key issues are how do these things impact the people in the rural area?
Can I ask a question? Because off of the back of what the gentleman was saying, he sounded actually very similar to David, the previous caller, but we're not going to go into that. But what I wanted to actually find out is that it is a reality that in any rural area, in any country, that there will be lack of proper access to information. That is just a fact. You know, it is a fact. And one thing that I remember seeing a few years ago, I was watching a CNN documentary where they built computers for people in rural areas that had never had access to technology before. And these little children were able to teach themselves how to use the I'm not sure if you remember seeing that.
I do remember that.
So is that something?
I have stories of Nigerians who have invented things.
Exactly.
People who have actually invented things. But there is no structure, no support, no enabling program to exploit those
So that
things.
brings one back to the question that I've asked you again.
Yes.
Now, having been versed in this area, what is it that you
To be honest, I have often tell a lot of people that Nigeria will develop in spite of the government. What I mean is that let's not rely on the government. Let's rely on individuals, each and every one of us, whatever we can do, a little, a much, whatever you can do it.
Okay.
We have lots of people who have donated computers to their villages, to their old schools, to their communities, people paying for broadband. What I believe the government really needs to do is to provide broadband services.
Sorry to interrupt you there. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, Ayo. Where are you calling from, please?
Good morning. I'm calling out you from Cambo.
Okay, could you speak slightly louder for us so that we can all hear you?
Are you hearing me very well now?
Faintly.
Faintly, just speak a little bit louder.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
We'll try. We'll manage.
Yeah. You see, let me come by saying this. If you look all the Nigerians that always call on your program, they have a passion. They want to do something for their country. But do we have the structure? Do we have
That's what Dean is talking about.
You see, if you look at what's going on in Nigeria, Jonathan called for a conference. The mistake Jonathan did was that Jonathan should have made the country to be in 6 regions. Why all this conference, the people who call for the conference, any resolution they pass here will be for the federal government to guide the 6 regions. You see, there must be competition. There is no competition in Nigeria between individuals. The only competition we have is corruption. How much you bought from work, how much you stole. That is the only competition we have in Nigeria as a whole. Let me expatiate very well so that you can hear me very clearly. Look at the time when we have all these regional governments. There is a competition. There is everything. You see, our problem is this. One, the problem of removing our king from our issue of governance in Nigeria is too bad. They may be corrupt. Let me be honest to you. They may be corrupt. And there is nobody in Nigeria who can tell me it's not corrupt. There is nobody. One way or the other, the environment you are practicing is corrupt. Therefore, you also you are part of it.
Not exactly true. But I'm sure we've gotten the idea of where you're coming from. Thank you so much for calling. We don't have much time, but I guess we're going to have to tell you to come back. Again. But just quickly respond.
So just to quickly tell people that the issue about information not being available are actually becoming addressed in Nigeria now. A lot of people like myself and other experts are actually creating platform tools that allow people to easily access information. We, on our own side, we have a number of channels, Nigeria Food for food issues, Nigeria Health, which has been very, very popular. A lot of people ask questions. People tell us things they can't tell anybody, but they have nobody to ask. So Nigeria Agri, we have a lot of farmers who connect to us online. They ask questions. We help them find information. I give it to them. We have Nigeria Property. We have Nigeria Health. We have Nigeria Legal for people looking for legal access. So it is an issue that people are working on. It will take us a while to get there, but I don't want us all to rely on the government. I think each and every one of us in our home, we have to look at what can we do? What can we develop? Everybody who have lived in the
Power supply, it will probably be a major issue.
Power supply is not what an individual can resolve, but it's what the corporate sector can resolve. And I think the move towards privatizing them now would definitely make a difference. Because anything that is not run by the government, whoever's running wants to make profit, and they will ensure that it works so they can make profit. So I think, yes, it is an issue, but over time it will get resolved. And I think it's on the onus of all of us to actually do something. And